Hey everyone, um, welcome back to the alternative view. So, um, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I'm seeing a lot of posts and a lot of comments on my social media surrounding that certain A word as a result of Roe versus Wade being overturned on Friday um, by the U.S. Supreme Court. So, a few different things um, that you can look up. Like if the decision was made at 10:10 in the morning, so you can look up like certain Bible verses, and one of them is John 10:10. That's kind of interesting. The other thing is it was the 24th of June 2022. So June's the 6th month. 24, you add those two numbers together, you get another 6. And then 2022, you add those together and you get another 6. That's three sixes. So 666. Some interesting stuff there. So my view on this, and I'm not going to go down the discussion where people are, getting into it's not right, women should have the choice and all this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. My body, my choice, well, maybe I will touch on the my body, my choice, but I'm not going to touch on it from um, you know, that procedure that's done. Again, starts with the letter A. So I'm not going to get into that, whether that should be done, whether that shouldn't be done. But if we're going to talk about my body, my choice, or my body, bodily autonomy, if that's the term. If it's not the right term, obviously you can write in the comments and correct me on that. But my body, my choice. So it's interesting. That gets overturned on Friday, and everyone on the internet is losing their minds about my body, my choice. But what's crazy is back in January, February, here in Ottawa, there was a bunch of people in trucks that were downtown about my body, my choice in regards to, things that you get put in your arm. Um, you know, there's two of them, but now there's a booster or a second booster and all that other, right? But everyone tells those people, just go and get that done. But now here we are, my body, my choice. So the parallels, the relation, the comparison between the two are very much the same. One the same. My body, my choice. So if you're going to have my body, my choice in this scenario, it should be my body, my choice for every scenario, not just this one. So that's that in regards to that. So if you are going to go down this road of my body, my choice, and you're asking me to respect that, or expecting others to respect that, you should also be respectful of others' choice to, you know what, I don't want to get those things. In regards to the pandemic that we have, I don't want to get that cure. I use certain words because if depending on what you use, say on social media, YouTube, and so on, as I'm sure you're aware, or maybe you're not aware because you haven't had that issue, but people do get censored. So I'm trying to avoid some of those keywords because I know that could be a risk. So anyways, that's why I'm saying the cure. We could call it what it is, but I don't want to get into that and potentially get into a censorship thing. So, the cure, you may say, hey, it works for me. Others may say, you know what, I don't believe in that. But again, my body, my choice. So, again, you want someone to respect your view or your decision on your body your choice. You should be open and mindful and respectful of someone else's view of my body, my choice. So again, my body, my choice. If I want to eat meat, and you're a vegan watching this, I respect your dietary decision. I'm only asking you to respect mine. And you know what? Whether that's right or wrong at this point in time, I'm not there yet. Maybe 10 years down the road, who knows? Maybe I'll be a vegan. Maybe I won't be. Or maybe 10 years down the road, you'll be like, you know what? I do need more protein in my diet or more, you know, and the only way I'm going to get that is if I were to start eating meat. So again, it's a two-way street, and we are here for a reason. And I think part of that reason, and it does go back to biblical context. And again, I'm not going to go about the A word, okay? But I'm just going to get into, you know what? Jesus said there's two great commandments. Love your God with all your strength, soul, mind, heart. Somewhere I got that wrong, but forgive me on that, guys. And there's a second one that's like it, which is love your neighbor as yourself. Now, for those of you, and I'm just going to touch on this quickly, that say, hey, but aren't there 10 commandments? Well, yeah, there are. Now, depending on if you're a Protestant versus a Catholic, and even then, different segments of the Protestant church, because you have Lutherans, you have Baptists, and you have all these other denominations. So basically, if you're not Catholic, you're likely a Protestant. So even in the Protestant churches, it depends. But anyways, the point is the first 3 or 4 first 3 or 4 commandments of the 10 commandments are all about God. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. I love God with all my, So the first 3 or 4 are about God. So what's Jesus saying? He's basically saying follow the 10 commandments. But here, you know what? I'll make it simpler for you because 10's clearly too hard to remember. So here's 2. Okay? But the second one, love your neighbor as yourself. Now let's look back at the 10 commandments. So again, depending on your church background, it's going to be 6 or 7 of the original 10 commandments are teaching you how to love your neighbor as yourself. So, I am now way off topic as to where I was and where I was going, but point is, there's 2 commandments. Love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. So, if we are here for that purpose, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Part of that starts with understanding. So, you don't walk your life through my shoes, right? You're walking your life through your shoes. So it's very easy to look at my life and say, oh, well, Josh does this and he says that and he does all these things, but you know what? He should do it like this. Well, again, that's from your shoes, so you don't see, the fact that maybe, oh, I had a bad night, or, I got in a huge fight with someone, or, I lost my job, or I was in a car accident, or all these things. So it's very easy to look and say, hey, that's what's going on. But unless you're willing to have that conversation to understand, hey, why do you have this thought? Or, hey, why do you have a different belief on Roe versus Wade from others? Or why do you have this core belief about, the cures for this pandemic? So Yes, no, I'm not a medical expert. No, I'm not a doctor. Uh, but you know what? In my job, in all these other things, it's, you know, no, I'm not a business analyst, but, I do a lot of analysis in my job. So guess what? Part of that is I'm looking at the data. And then I can look at the data and then determine trends and all this other stuff. But where's the data on, all these other things? So, all that just to come back, and I do just want to make it clear, my body, my choice. Now, here's what has been going on for the past, at least since, I won't even go how far back based on, but in 2020, a lot of divisions started, and the division started from our media. So yes, there was the news that came out, and they would talk about how, say, President Trump told people to inject Javex in their bodies. Okay, I watched that. He never said it. If you're like, oh no, that's what he said. No, that's not what he said. Go back and watch the full footage and hear what he said. I'm not going to dismiss maybe something similar, or he was asking about something similar to that, but he did not say inject Javex into the body. So again, the media's throwing stuff out there to then say, oh, look how stupid this guy is, and then they're playing the war on division. They have people who watch the full video who are saying one thing, and then they have the other people who just watched what the news said, and they're like, no, and there's a fight going. So there's that. And then there's the George Floyd, right? So there's people who said one thing, and then there's another. Then further in 2020, many different things, one of which is the election. There's a group of people who believe that the current president of the United States didn't actually win the election. Okay? So if he didn't win it, you're like, well, he had more votes. Well, but if he didn't actually win, what would that mean, even if he had more votes? The votes came from somewhere. So were ballots double counted? Were they all these other things? So you have people who believe current president didn't actually win, but then you have others who do believe he won. So again, division. Then you can get into 2021. There's so many things, again, in these past 2 years that they're trying to create division. So then it became 2021. Oh, well, now we have the cure for the pandemic. So initially it was like, people can just go and get the cure at their own time. And then they started to again divide. So in 2020 here in Canada, you had nurses were heroes, essential workers were heroes, doctors were heroes. And then in 2021, because these nurses and doctors were like, no, my body, my choice, they were shown the door. Unpaid leave, whatever the case may be. So again, division between, now you have the division of people who've received the cure and people who haven't. You have division of the people who want to wear masks and the people who don't want to wear masks. And now, there's so many more things, and if you just have to start looking for it. The Ukraine scenario, there's division there. And now we have even further division right now with Roe versus Wade being reversed. So, I believe, this is my belief, and this is my alternative view, that, the media is playing us. So, and it's being done like that to support their narrative. So the minute we all just start saying no, and we all line up with one another and we say, my body, my choice, you know, and we all align with one another and we love each other as ourselves, the sooner the truth will come out about everything, and the sooner we'll be able to um, get back to a new normal that is nothing like we've ever seen. With that said, thank you again all for watching, and you know, have a great evening. Love you all. Bye.